Hi guys, and welcome back to our channel. So before we hop into this video, I had to tell you about this new piece of artwork that I picked up from a company called Mapiful. This particular company specializes in creating artwork that helps you to celebrate your journey. They create Scandinavian inspired pieces that will allow you to kind of represent special moments in your life in a different way. So the piece of artwork that I picked up from this company is from their customizable street map prints. And this allows you to select an important location. It could be a monument in you and your family's life, from a special moment that may have happened. And this could also be a Mother's Day gift. You know, Mother's Day is coming up, as well as Father's Day. I'm thinking about getting this for my husband, although I already purchased it. He hasn't seen it yet. So this is going to be one of his gifts for Father's Day. It allows you to kind of create this geographical symbol of your love and say to commemorate a special moment that may have happened in your life or a special place. So the print that I picked up from the company is from their customizable street map prints. And the city that I selected was Elizabeth City. Anyone that has followed our journey, whether you be a friend, a family member, or if you're part of the DevNest family, you know that our love story started in Elizabeth City. I went to Elizabeth City State University, where I met my husband in college. And my husband is also from Elizabeth City. That's kind of his hometown. He wasn't born in Elizabeth City, but that is his hometown. It's just where it all began. Our babies were born in Elizabeth City, and we started the process of raising them and rearing them in that particular location. So every time I see this piece of artwork, it's going to be so special to me because no matter where we go, we're always going to have that little reminder of where it all started. And even if my babies or even if my girls ask me, well, Mom, where was I born? I can just direct them to this little roadmap to show them where they came from. So here I have their street map print, as I stated earlier, but they also offer zodiac prints, they offer star map prints, and the option to do text art. And I was going to go with the text art option. However, I wanted something a little bit different. We always typically go with like a picture of our family. We have several pictures of our family around the house. And I just wanted to do something just a little bit different. So this geographical representation of our love story was so very perfect. And I cannot wait for Gorden to see this on Father's Day. I might give it to him for early Father's Day gift. I don't know. We'll see. Maybe I'll show it to him in the next part of this video. I'm going to do it in the next part of this video. Let's see what he thinks. All right. See you in a bit.
Day one. Tryna spend the rest of my life with the same one. Ain't no INT. I'ma bring you good love, just come with me. Baby, you're all the company I need.
Hi guys, and welcome back to our channel. So today we're going to be talking about love languages.
Yeah.
And I have a special guest. Feels like a special guest.
Yeah.
I have my sweet husband, Mr. Gorden Dove.
And I'm glad to be on the Martha Dove Show. Thank you so much for allowing me to be here. Guys, this is awesome.
It's always so wonderful when you decide to join us.
Yeah, it's great. You know, I want to thank you guys for allowing me to kind of come into you guys' world that you guys are building and, you know, allow me to have an opportunity to kind of, you know, spend time with you and also speak to your lovely family.
Our lovely family.
Well, yeah, cool. But I'm gonna let you head this conversation on up, and I just kind of fall in.
It is so wonderful for our family, for my husband to be back on the channel again. Again, guys, we're going through transition, so right now is kind of a busy time for us. My husband just got started with the ministry, so he's very busy. So if you don't see him, it's not because he doesn't love you. I'm sure you want to say that, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I love him. But we are going to be working on some things for you guys that we can do together and that I think you guys are going to really enjoy that we're going to bring to you guys. So
also a lot of exciting stuff coming really soon. Okay, so stay tuned. So as I just stated, we're going to be talking about love languages. But before we get started, I kind of have an early Father's Day gift for you.
Okay, great.
Okay. All right, so I have a new piece of artwork for you. You want to see it?
Yeah, let me see it. Let me see what you got going.
What do you think?
What is... Oh, where we met. Oh, that's cool. Yeah, Elizabeth City. That's dope. Home city, 36.
It has the coordinates?
Yeah, all the coordinates, 36.372 over. Yeah, that's cool. That's
you like
dope.
it?
Yeah, I think that's dope. That's cool. Sweet. Can I see that? That's great. That's awesome. Like, can y'all see that? They can't see that. Mm-hmm. Can they see that? Like where we met, Elizabeth City. It's framed really, really dope. I love that print too.
And I think we're going to hang it up in our living room. There's like a space in our living room that's missing some wall art. Yeah. So I think it's going to go right there.
That's dope.
I'm glad you like it, baby.
Yay.
All right, so let's get started. I'm glad you like it.
Thank you. Air kiss.
Air kiss.
Oh, it's an air kiss. That's dope. All right, family. So we're excited today to have a conversation about love languages. Now, for those of you that never heard about love languages, there is a New York Times bestselling author by the name of Gary Chapman who wrote a book called The 5 Love Languages. Not only is he a best-selling author, he's also a marriage counselor. And I kind of looked into some history, and he was on a plane one day, and a gentleman asked him a question about relationships, about marriage. And he asked him, hey, where does the love go in relationships? And within that question, it sparked a whole channel of thought of him really realizing that it's not that the love goes anywhere. Yeah. It's just that
you're speaking
different languages. And so this is where the book and all of the language around love languages came from, for him to help people in relationships to understand that the love hasn't really gone anywhere. You just have to understand what language each of you are speaking in.
Right. And it claims to give the secrets to a long-lasting relationship. And if you think about it, like, I just speak English, right? And for those of you who don't know, I'm also a teacher. And I've had students through my years of experience who are bilingual, or they might have Spanish as their primary language. So I find that I have a very difficult time trying to interact with those students whose primary language is something else. So it kind of works the same in relationships. So, okay, Mr. Dove, you did really well with your introduction.
Thank you.
So now we want to see if you actually know my love languages with an S.
I don't know. Try.
Okay. So the 5 love languages are words of affirmation, acts of service, quality time, gifts, and physical touch.
Words of affirmation, quality time, gifts, affirmation.
You said that again.
Can you tell me again? I need to be taught. This is gonna be a tough day. Tell me again.
Words of affirmation.
Words of affirmation.
Quality time.
Quality time.
Acts of service.
Acts of service.
Physical touch.
Physical touch.
And gifts.
And gifts. All right. So I repeated them so I can remember. But can you explain to me just a little bit? And for those out in our audience that may not know kind of a brief high level of what that means, could you explain to me? So words of affirmation.
So words of affirmation is basically you speaking goodness over your partner.
Okay.
You kind of need them to affirm and remind you that you see what they're doing. You appreciate, how good they are. You appreciate how they contribute to your marriage or to your relationship. So telling them they look nice, giving them compliments, showing them that level of respect, and letting him know that he's your king or she's your queen.
So things like good job,
I
believe in you,
giving them praise.
Yeah, all those things. Right? That's good.
So that's words of affirmation. Okay. Acts of service.
Sweet.
It's kind of like what it sounds like. You serving your mate. Us doing date night, or you going not over and beyond, but kind of doing those little things that lets your partner know that you value them, and you want to pour in or contribute to your relationship, like taking out the trash,
washing the car,
or if you have kids, taking the kids out for a few minutes so you can relax, washing the car, paying the bills.
Okay. That's good.
Things like that, and making sure that your partner knows that they have security and that you're gonna do those things that remind them that you're willing to serve them.
Can I add, also cooking or cleaning? Those are acts of service as well.
Yeah. So quality time, you spending time with me. Okay. Not necessarily you being present, sitting beside me in the room, but letting me know that you really value that time that we have together. So quality time could be just us having a conversation about our day, talking about our relationship. It could be as simple as us watching a movie or engaging in an activity that you and I both enjoy.
And I think that that's a good one, because I think a lot of people think that quantitative time is equal to quality time, but they're much different. I would say that quality time is asking open-ended questions to your mate. Like, hey, tell me a little bit about the day. Like, it's when you open up the floor for them to be able to tell you about something, not where you're focused on you. It's about you're opening up questions in time about what they're interested in, so they can lay their frustrations out, their dreams, their purpose. Like, just being in that moment for them and you to listen. Really means
right. And I like that you said listen, because it's not just you asking the question to say you asked, but listening with intention to hear.
Exactly.
But also to internalize. But also to internalize what they're saying for later.
Yeah. Absolutely.
So that you're able to apply some of those little nuggets that they gave you later on in the day or later on in the week and in the month.
Absolutely. And I love what just happened there, because even as we're recording this video right now, our girls
are making noise.
And they're doing their own thing. So just know this is the realness that's happening right now. This is the Dubs nest. So
maybe we'll get them to say hi before we leave.
Yeah, we might because they're going off. And listen, guys, if we yell in the middle of this video, just know.
Charge it to our head, not
our hearts.
So we did quality time. We did affirmation. Yeah. We did acts of service. Right. So gifts, that's kind of self-explanatory.
Absolutely.
Buying him things. Right. And then we talked about physical touch.
Which we know that. But now I want to speak to that, because physical touch is not always
sexual.
Not always sexual. It doesn't always lead to sex. But, when holding a hand, putting your arm around your spouse. If it's nothing, sometimes you can be watching a movie and you can just take your hand and put it on your husband's head, or men, you can take your hand and just kind of put your hand in your spouse's hair if they have the type of thing that you can do that. You got to be careful in some cultural contexts or some situations, because you can't rub your fingers all the way through sometimes, because they might. You know what I'm saying? Or it can be as simple as your shoes being off and you putting your feet on
playing footsie.
Playing footsie, all that good stuff. Rubbing or scratching a bag, all that stuff goes a long way without being asked. That goes a long way in physical touch, I think.
So if I were to have to kind of guess, not really guess because I feel like I already know, but if I were to state my husband's love languages, I would say that his are more so physical touch and words of affirmation. What do you think?
I think that words of affirmation is definitely one. I think that's good. I think not words of fakeamation. Because I think that's one of the 5 non-love languages. Fakeamation. I'll be writing a book coming soon. Where you say things just because you think that your spouse wants to hear them. I like affirmation if you're saying something genuinely. Yeah. To support and encourage and uplift.
And I think one key thing for my husband in our relationship, and I'm sure men in general, is that they know that you respect them. And that they know that you recognize what they contribute to the relationship. And sometimes I can tell that yours is words of affirmation, because my husband will literally, because I'm teaching from home. Mm-hmm. So he'll kind of get in my view. Even if I'm on the computer with my students, or if I'm in a meeting, he'll get in my view right before he leaves, because he wants me to say, hey, babe, you look cute today. Or if I'm asleep, he'll kind of start ruffling stuff around in the room and making noises so that I can see him before he leaves to tell him he looks nice for the day, which is so funny.
Yeah, I think that's great, because I would rather for you to look at me and say that.
For sure.
Than go out for another woman and want to say that to
me. All day.
I do that. I do that for that reason. And I try to keep that appetite to whereas my appetite is only turned to her being the one that can affirm me.
Yes.
And nobody else to do that.
And there's a little gesture he does with his face, where he's kind of waiting for me to just give him that affirming word, or
what do you think?
To say, babe, you did great. Or even if he cooks, there's this little smirk or little gesture he does with, I don't know, it's just something he does with his face that lets me know that he's kind of waiting for me to say, hey, babe, I really enjoy this meal, or I really appreciate what you're doing right now. So I think yours is words of affirmation and definitely physical touch. Because we might have moments to where we kind of really get into something, we're in a heavy debate, or might be a bit of an argument at times, because relationships, couples, marriages, you're going to argue. And I just remember a lot of times when we're like in those moments, one time in particular, I had grabbed the back of your head and just started rubbing it, and he just calmed down.
Absolutely.
So like he likes physical touch.
Yeah, and the majority of the time in a lot of our conversation, or when we use the words rumbling, or when we're having positive conflict, confrontation, working through issues, most of the time I'm not upset in my heart. Like my emotional state is not at a state where I'm like triggered to stay in a way. Most of the time, something like that will always back me down, and I'll be able to talk soberly. So that's really good to know. Let me give you guys a little hint real quick, right? I want to give you ladies a hint. And I think I may be speaking for 88% of men. Not all, because that would be out of line. But I think 88% of men are looking for three things. I think this will satisfy men. I think sex, spontaneity, and support. I think these three things. Spontaneity. Okay. I think these three things are the three things that men.
So changing it up a bit.
I think sex is one. Physical touch. All men. It's not that it's about sex to us, but one thing you need to understand about sex for men, we put sex in the category of affection for us. So having sex is affection. Having sex for us is an act of love and acceptance from who we with. Having sex and us being able to give you that as well, not just on the receiving, but to be able to please you, to us brings us pleasure as well. And it's a way that we're showing you that we are affectionate. Men don't show their emotions a lot, but during sex, we open up, even emotionally as well.
Right.
So for a man, the first thing is going to be sex, and it affirms men too. To have sex, it's an affirmation.
And you will say, come on, baby, it's been too long now. You're going to have to help me out.
Affirmation, quality time, all those things for us happen in sex. Spontaneity for men is awesome, because for a woman just to kind of pop up, and we can have sex today, like to just pop up and just be like, hey, maybe some sex is going on, or pop up and just be like, hey, I want to take you out to dinner, or just to pop up and be like, hey, I got you a gift. Like for men, it's kind of like, dang, like, for real, we love that. And thirdly, support. And that's where affirmation comes up. For a man to know that you support him, even in his try, you're supporting him, even in the vision that he has. It affirms and it backs him up, and then you keep going. So I want to give you guys those three things in the middle of this, just in case. So, all right, so me.
Yeah. So in terms of, I stated.
Hey, wait a minute. I need to make sure you don't cut that out, because all this good.
No, keep it.
Because you looked at your phone in the middle of the talk.
No, it was. I didn't know if it was something important.
That's real marriage stuff. I was like, I mean, man, you gotta know, because ain't no affirmation going on there.
So did I get yours right?
Ain't no support going on right. They cut me off. Y'all got broke on that now. I got me little, you know what I'm saying? Just throw my stuff out there. That's all right. Don't worry about it.
That was great,
I'll see myself out in a minute.
You did so good.
All right, cool. I'm back.
So I stated yours.
Okay.
Was I correct?
Yeah, I would say you were correct.
Now how about mine?
All right, cool.
Of the 5, what are mine?
That's easy. I would say that the first thing is slave of service.
Slave of service?
I told you I'm going to write that.
Did you say slave of service?
Yeah, slave of service is probably going to be, I'm sorry, acts of service.
What do you even mean slave of service?
I
do not ask for a lot.
I had my professionalism
He can hold it.
But I could not hold the fact that her first love language is slave of service. That is great. That's funny to me. That's funny to me. That's going to be in the 2.0.
What do you mean by that? Slave of service?
Love languages.
What do you mean by slave of service, though?
No, I mean acts of service is Martha's. And I'll tell you why I said slave of service. Because one thing about Martha, right? I think all women love to know that a man is taking care of things. But, like, for instance, Martha loves, mowing the grass. If Martha comes outside and seeing you mowing the grass, I mean, she is just out there kind of like, But here's the thing. I think the hotter it is, and, the more lions and leopards that are around, and bears. Lions and leopards? When you mow the grass, it just she goes to another level. I mean, 150 degrees outside, and just kind of a few chimpanzees and orangutans around, just running around, just kind of eating people, and she see you mowing grass through that, she's like, woo!
But why did it have to get to that level?
And I said all of that to say, just joking though, but acts of service from Martha. She definitely, to her, it's a sign that you love her
and that you were listening,
and that you listen and you care when you do those things. And I think women in general, I don't think that's...
Yeah, when I see you with the kids or
yeah.
cooking. Last week, Gorden came home and he cooked or either brought me something home almost every day. It was just wonderful. He spent more time with the kids. Like that stuff, I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
You're doing all right.
I would say that was the first one. And then I would say the second one for you is going to be quality time. I think that... For sure. I think that you definitely like, quality time. You are a...
Because I want to be
you are a hopeless romantic as well.
Mm-hmm.
And so, you always want to... Like the type of movies you like are movies that are very suspenseful, that end up good, but it's like a lot of crying and emotionalism and, sharing all these different things. And so, like, the quality time for you is more like you want to open up about relationship and where we are and talk about, the pitfalls and go into, like, those areas and then...
But my highest moments I want to spend with you, like... And I want it to be not just us being together physically, but I want to know that you're there. And that's a lot of women. Like, I want quality time. I want you.
And I
just want you.
And what's cool about that is, I think this is another conversation, is when we say quality time, you also have to have a conversation with your spouse or, your significant other as you walk into spousalship.
Spousalship?
But hey, that's not... I am not
marital bliss?
Hey. That's not where I am. It's 2021. So I want you guys to know. Push back.
Partnership?
Hey, partnership.
Spousalship. Oh, I guess spousalship.
All right, I've made no words. But no, what I would like to say is you need to really understand what quality time is with your mate. Because on my end, quality time for me is a lot different than Martha. Like, quality time for me is us sitting on the couch and watching like a Marvel, film or something like that. And us watching it and laughing at it and being like, what in the world are they doing? For me, and it's got to be the couch too because it's company. For me, that's quality time. For Martha, on the other end, quality time for her is being location matters. Like upstairs in the room, laying in the bed, looking at a laptop movie, like some type of like love movie or some type of like relationship, like reality show, weird stuff. So, a lot of times there has to be a lot of compromise because I'll be honest, I don't like watching TV in the bed. And I don't like...
He doesn't like romance.
I don't
like... Ones that pull on your emotions.
And also...
So, to compromise, we don't watch a lot of those. I watch more so the action or the comedy.
And also, sometimes I think some of those films are inflated in like what real romance and love is.
Kind of gives you
I think it gives you a false
expectation.
So I don't like watching. I'm like, man, I just think that's unrealistic. But at the same time, it's like I have to find those places because she's like, hey, babe, I'm getting a little... The same way I would say, it's like, man, you got to help me out. She's the same with movies. She's like,
a little neglect.
She's like, hey, I'm feeling a little, help me out,
a little
babe.
lonely.
A little lonely here. And I'm just like, man, all right. We got to figure something out.
Oh, we also did, I just recently found like some relationship games that you could play. We do that as well.
Yeah, that's cool.
Where we ask each other, it might be like a truth card deck where you kind of tell those like unanswered questions. Yeah. Or there might be a dare where you're doing something a little silly or out of...
Or spicy.
Something a little risky, And then there's another category I can't remember, but it's just a different way to kind of spice things up. Now, because of the pandemic right now, we are not really getting out as much, and because we have so many kids, so we have to be creative in how we create our quality time. But it doesn't matter where you are; the location is not really the most of most significance. It's more so that you're spending time together. That's what I need. I need time together, and I need my acts of service. That's what fills my love tank. So if you haven't had that conversation with your spouse or your partner, once you get into, like Gorden said, spousal shit, then now would be the perfect time for you to have those conversations. If you're having a lot of conflicts in your relationship or in your marriage, you might want to evaluate, have I really thought about what my love language is? And if I've already thought about it or I know my love language, have I communicated it with my spouse?
I also think that anything that you're going to work on, any principle, any new technique, new method, you have to be disciplined enough to actually stick with it.
Put in the work.
You gotta
be consistent.
You gotta be consistent. You do have to put in the work. If you apply these principles consistently, it could be a great tool in aiding you to a much better pathway of communication and relationship ultimately with your significant other. So I would just encourage you guys, if you heard anything today that sounds like it resonates with you, or if you're like, hey, I might jump out and take a look at this and even buy this book, or if you had it and it's in the closet and it's like picked up all this dust because it's in the drawer somewhere, you just kind of say, forget it. I would say dust it off. If you don't have it, go buy it and work it and start integrating that language when you talk with each other.
Yeah, and it's definitely, and this is not a sponsored video at all, so we're not necessarily promoting the book.
It's not.
But I will say that kind of understanding your spouse's or your partner's love language will kind of give you more insight about how you can better serve them. And with us in particular, we weren't really familiar with the whole love language thing.
Absolutely.
And we had kind of some pitfalls in our relationship or in our marriage. And we were kind of trying to figure out, okay, why are we having these issues? Mm-hmm. We love each other. This is supposed to be grand, you know? Mm-hmm. But through the course of years, you kind of move away from understanding what really makes my spouse or what really makes my partner tick. And once you figure out what causes their love tank to be filled, it makes your relationship progress a lot better.
Yeah, I can definitely agree with that. Yeah, I mean, you can't say that.
And I will say that you actually got my love languages right, so high five.
Oh, take that.
You want to give me a kiss?
And so what we're going to do now, as you guys
you want to kiss me?
Prepare your hearts, we're going to kiss in front of you. And this is something that I learned from, as a matter of fact, I'm writing about this. It's called The Way You Touch Me. Right?
Oh.
And so what I want you guys to understand is what I'm getting ready to do is I'm getting ready to demonstrate you touch one. Right? So this is very important. I want you to see what this does when I do this. I want you to watch the pace. I want you to watch the way that I look. I also want you to watch what touches first. Okay?
Oh.
This is very important.
Okay.
This is touch point one.
All right.
All right. Watch this. Okay.
You can see that.
Did you see that?
They didn't see your hand, sir.
See that? You grab hands, you hold hand first. See that? Now with the other hand, you want to make sure that that hand is praying.
You want to make sure that you're married.
Okay, and then you want to come here. You want to make sure that you go here. See the face? All right, so that's touch point one, and I want you guys to see that. That response,
you can't see all of that.
That response releases endorphins in the mind, the brain, and it causes for joy to be in your relationship. Now, if you guys want to know about, it's 5 touch points. If you want to know about the other 4, we need you guys to just stay in contact with us and keep up. And The Way You Touch Me will be coming out 5 points.
Call 1-800-DESMISS.
The Way You Touch Me. The 5 points to touch the heart, soul, and body of your spouse. So, hey guys.
If you're married.
Yeah, if you're married.
All right, girls, you all want to come down and say bye? Girls.
Y'all hear y'all mama calling y'all? Sorry.
Girls, come down real quick so you can say goodbye.
Sorry about that, guys. What do you mean? Your mama said, come downstairs to say goodbye to our family on the camera. Sorry about that, guys.
You are just as silly. What am I going to do with him? Like, really?
Yes.
Why don't you take your rap scarves off, please?
So, no, wait, hold on. Wait a minute. See how the mama made him take the rap scarf off? Y'all come on. Y'all hurry up. Y'all looking like...
Make sure your hair's not sticking up on top of your head.
It is sticking up on top of your head.
Pull your hair down.
There's nothing we can do about this. Ava, if you... Excuse me. Ava!
And you see it's already time for me to break.
Come down here.
Time to braid their hair. Somebody teach Mr. Dove how to braid. Nettie, you have something on your face, darling. What is that?
I don't know.
All right. See, we can barely get on the screen. Oh, yeah, I see Taylor.
You see Taylor?
All right, girls. All right, guys. Let's
You
stay.
see in the camera, man?
Yeah, we can see that.
All right. I think, are we doing this video for the lady that said that
We just at the end
that
of
we
it.
may have too many kids and they might not be able to get fed?
Oh.
Is that what she said? Shout out to one of our great fans who was just talking about the fact that we had so many kids and they might not be.
They are well taken care of.
They might not be taken care of. Might not be eating well. But I mean, although I don't agree with that, I do agree with the kids are eating well. But I think the parents may be the ones that
are struggling.
That may not be eating well. So if my face gets a little skinny, just know I'm just fasting.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, girls.
Okay.
Let's say goodbye.
Tryna spend the rest of my life with the same one, same one.